Sagicor Bank, supporting businesses with guidance and services to create the recipe for success. The Time by Sagicor Bank is
7. CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
In CVM News at 7 tonight, principal shortages, who's leading our schools? Full planes, empty pockets. JTB defends skyrocketing flight prices. Also in the news, cease and desist notice issued over illegal occupation of SCJ lands. And later in sports, Mount Pleasant look for bounce back win in Caribbean Cup.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by...
This KFC deal has you thinking chicken. Give the chicken box combo for just $730.
Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What I want?
What's a guan?
That's a go on, pa.
What I want?
What a guan?
What a one! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
And that's a go on, pa. What a go on?
Watch Walking on the Word with Apostle Professor J. Andrew Scott every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m.
An apostle, have it? Cause 3 contracts to be released to you. So as of tonight, the realm of the supernatural is active and activated to cause 3 contracts. Pow! 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 In Jesus' name. So get up and unite for your team. Give the best we've got. It's how we rock. Every preach, every part, every deal, every wicked, every soul. And the heart and soul and passion, and the culture, Caribbean flows. When people come out all nation, with the team in a unification. When the stadium ram beach at the grandstand, and the meaning of unification. It's how we play. It's how we play. When the stadium ram beach at the grandstand, and the meaning of unification. It's how we play.
I'm me and the stylist, no scam and not style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ, real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress, you charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by...
This KFC deal has you thinking chicken. Give the chicken box combo for just $730.
Employers, once a month, you have the power to shape Jamaica's future by paying your hard 3%.
I'm me the style is no scammer nah style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress no charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Ken.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by...
This KFC deal has you thinking chicken. Give the chicken box combo for just $730.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for this Tuesday, September 1, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet, and thank you for joining us. Up first this evening, a new 3-year wage agreement has been signed for Jamaica's public sector workers, but questions remain about whether the increases will provide meaningful relief amid the rising cost of living. We take a closer look at what the deal really means for workers and the economy. Here's Crystal Williams.
The government and the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions have sealed a new wage agreement covering public sector workers through 2028. While the deal includes a 5% salary increase in the last 2 years and an $80,000 tax-free payment in the first year, economist Keenan Faulkner says the headline figures must be viewed against the wider economic picture. He explains that the real impact of the agreement depends on more than the percentage increase, particularly when inflation and the country's overall economic position are taken into account. The economist says workers may need to look behind the headline figure.
Inflation is right now 7.5%, but the increases are 5% in each year. So it's not a fulsome assessment to say that, you know, the workers may be better off or worse off because inflation is above the rate of increase, because people's experience with inflation is different. It depends on, you know, your household consumption, your household composition. It also depends on what your basket of goods is, how many people are in your household, where you shop, things like that. So it's not a one-to-one relationship to say whether this is fair or not based on the prevailing rate of inflation. The 80,000 for the first year was a lump sum, so it wasn't as if to say this was a percentage, because that year has already gone, and it's something that the Fiscal Commission has brought to attention at least 2 times.
And while the agreement puts more money into workers' pockets, Mr. Faulkner says the extent to which that translates into greater purchasing power is the bigger issue. Against that backdrop, he says the rising cost of living remains a key factor.
Apart from, you know, having to wait 16 months for your first year increase and the unfairness associated with that, you are now ensuring that the government doesn't have to eventually recalibrate down the line, because what if the contingency is not enough and you have to now make provisions for more wages on top of what you have already promised. So that uncertainty, it now removes that as a fiscal risk going forward.
But from the trade union's perspective, the focus is on whether the agreement ultimately delivers enough for workers who continue to face rising household expenses. President of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, Senator Cavan Gale, says workers must be able to feel the difference in their pockets.
When we entered these negotiations, Jamaica was still dealing with the far-reaching consequences of Hurricane Melissa. So the trade union movement entered these negotiations with a kind of clear appreciation of a difficult balancing act. We remained mindful of the cost of living pressures confronting our members, and the reality that wages must provide workers with some reasonable standard of living.
Crystal Williams, CVM News.
Now, just 4 months after Dr. Marjorie Fullerton was reinstated as principal of Merle Grove High School, the Jamaica Teachers Association says she's still struggling to get the support she needs from the school board to effectively lead the institution. More details in this report.
Dr. Marjorie Fullerton returned as principal of Merle Grove on April 30 after a 4-year-long court battle over her dismissal. Now, months after her reinstatement, Assistant General Secretary of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Doran Dixon, says she is not being allowed to carry out her duties as principal.
By not giving her the opportunity to operate as a principal should. To this point, she has not been given access to the school's accounts. Now, as the Chief Executive Officer of the school, she has a fiduciary responsibility. She cannot carry out that fiduciary responsibility if she does not have access to all the school accounts. She ought to have been made a signatory to the accounts, having been returned as per the court ruling. That has still not happened.
Dixon says complaints have been made to the ministry, but believes they have been slow to intervene. Dixon says the school board is overstepping its role and is questioning the principal's administrative decisions.
The board seems to be in this mode where it seems to be second-guessing the principal on almost every single decision, including placement of staff, including things to do with day-to-day operations, graduation, material that is sent out, and just trying to make her life really uncomfortable. Hence the accusation, not an accusation, hence the feeling that they are trying to litigate what they would have lost in court, outside of court.
Dixon also told CVM's lead story that Dr. Fullerton was not paid during the 4 years she spent fighting her dismissal. He maintains she is owed over $20 million. He claims that the board offered Fullerton the option to resign and receive a severance package.
The board approached her that an alternative to her returning to her job, she could take the route of walking away and be compensated. So when the offer was looked at, it was felt that that was not to her advantage, and she fully wanted to return to work.
Despite these challenges, Dixon says Fullerton remains committed to leading Merle Grove High School. CVM News tried reaching out to Merle Grove High School for a comment, but was unable to get a response by news time. Angela Melville, CVM News.
A construction worker is dead and another hospitalized after a section of a building collapsed on them at Balcombe Drive Primary and Infant School in Waterhouse. The deceased has been identified as 45-year-old Deron Johnson, and the identity of the other man is still unknown. The men were allegedly crushed by the collapsing concrete and died at the scene. It's reported that it was the men's first day on the job to refurbish an undercraft connecting the school's offices to classrooms. The structure collapsed around 1:30. An auxiliary worker at the school told CVM News the men were drilling a column supporting the structure, which had 2 large water tanks on top. The fire brigade responded and removed the men from beneath the debris. The police are still investigating the incident. It's time now for a break, but stay with us. More news.
Employers, once a month, you have the power to shape Jamaica's future. By paying your hard 3% contribution, you're not just contributing, you're investing in people, in skills, in our economy. Your hard contribution trains working-age Jamaicans, aligns programs with workforce needs, and secures our future. That's not just contribution, it's transformation. Contribute to heart and to your future.
KFC chicken box.
Chicken, mega deal, super chicken, mega.
This KFC deal has you thinking chicken. Get the chicken box combo for just $730. KFC.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. We are continuing the news. Digicel is making changes to its television service from October 1, with customers set to get more channels but lose some familiar networks. Monthly rates will also be increasing. According to Digicel, content availability can be affected by factors including programming rights, licensing arrangements, and updates to its content portfolio. Customers are being promised access to up to 50 channels with the classic plan increasing from 107 to 161 channels, while the variety and premier plans will each offer 190. As Digicel revamped its channel lineup, customers will see a price increase of $350 Jamaican dollars. Meanwhile, Flow customers with an unlimited plan are being notified that their monthly rate will increase from $5,200 plus GCT to $5,400 effective October 1st. Now, Flow says the $200 increase is part of its ongoing network improvements, including additional backup power for its mobile towers. The company says customers will continue to benefit from the value and savings associated with the plan. To other news now, plans are underway to build new ports and expand existing cruise lines. That revelation from Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, who says this forms part of the ministry's plans to bounce back from Hurricane Melissa's impact while future-proofing cruise tourism locally. Natasha Williams has the details.
Minister Edmund Bartlett says the industry is quickly recovering through the combined efforts of cruise travel advisors, who he says have been redirecting businesses to the island since the devastation from Hurricane Melissa. However, he says in an aim to speed up the restoration process, the ministry will be constructing new ports while extending already established cruise spots.
And from a cruise point of view, I want you to appreciate that we are now pivoting towards a cruise arrangement in Jamaica that will see multiple destinations within Destination Jamaica. We're in active discussions and planning around making new ports. We're talking about expanding facilities to have multiple attractions and arrangements that will satisfy a larger volume of cruisers in Jamaica.
Speaking at the Regal Rewards Awards ceremony held at Sandals Duns River recently, Bartlett says despite the existing challenges with ports in the Western Caribbean, Jamaica is positioned as the route with the most significant destination within the region. He stressed that in addition to protecting that achievement, this projected expansion also aims to address the cost for operations, economic and environmental issues affecting local ports.
So Jamaica is working with the program. And we are looking at how to expand our own capacity here to provide multiple destinations within Destination Jamaica. And so that's building what we call future-proofing cruise tourism for Jamaica.
The tourism boss disclosed that a new attraction location has already been identified and expressed confidence in this investment being a strong selling point for travel advisors in marketing brand Jamaica.
And we're excited to introduce you to them So that when you're selling Jamaica, you're not just selling Ocho-Rios, but you're selling the new corridor from Ocho-Rios all the way to Port Antonio and all the way to Montego Bay and to Negril and then into the interior of Jamaica. We are going to be reimagining the destinations within Jamaica to give you greater choices and greater options to sell Destination Jamaica.
The awards show honored 10 top travel advisors of 2024-2025 by the Ministry of Tourism through the Jamaica Vacations Limited, JAMVAC, on Saturday, following a 3-year break since its first staging in 2023. Natasha Williams, CVM News.
The Jamaica Sugar Company of Jamaica SCJ Holdings Limited and the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation have issued a cease and desist notice to persons illegally occupying the land. The move follows reports of illegal construction on the property. Carla Ramdeen reports.
This was the cease and desist notice issued by SCJ Holdings Limited and the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation to crack down on the construction of buildings on the property in Morant, Western St. Thomas. Managing Director of the Sugar Company of Jamaica SCJ Holdings Limited, Nigel Myrie, says SCJ Holdings and the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation held a joint session to highlight the illegal occupation of the land. Mr. Murray says SCJ does not have a mandate to provide residential solutions, noting that the land is designated for agricultural purposes.
There are government agencies that deal with housing solutions. That's not us. All right, so the activity that's taking place in our land is capture, sale, and illegal construction.
Senior Property Warden Clayton Washington from SCJ says he has identified approximately 17 buildings that he says has been illegally constructed. He notes that action will be taken if occupants do not comply with the notices.
What's your suggestion or advice to them?
Don't occupy government land. It don't belong to you. So there's a way of owning land in Jamaica, and you can go to the places them that offer these lands to get ownership for these places. But you can't just occupy space just because you see it. It belongs to somebody.
Mr. Murray is urging persons to desist from illegally occupying the land. He says persons seeking clarification on the use of the property should contact the agency to determine whether the land is suitable for their intended purpose.
Quite often they're encroaching on other people's arrangements with the land in question. So we would have engaged in contractual arrangements through a lease agreement, and these situations would encroach on those agreements.
In the meantime, CVM contacted the Member of Parliament for St. Thomas Western, James Robertson, to comment on the matter, but he did not respond. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Now, opposition spokesperson on transport, Michael Phillips, is blasting the government over another delay to the demerit point system's implementation, calling it a blatant policy failure. Natasha Williams has that story.
The demerit points system is intended to hold repeat traffic offenders accountable, with suspensions tied to the number of points accumulated. But with implementation delayed again, the National Road Safety...
All right, that was the incorrect story there, but let's now go to that report from Natasha regarding the demerit point system.
Opposition spokesperson on transport and mining, Michael Phillips, has rubbished the government's reasons for another delay in the implementation of the demerit point system. He describes the postponement as a failure on the government's part to properly prepare for the enforcement of a new system.
The government has failed to prepare adequately for the new system, and it is systematic of how it is that they treat some of the laws that we have, and how it is that we bring some of the aspects of our laws into being. It is just the Ministry of Transport that is really dragging its feet, and the minister, in his usual style of wanting to do things without doing the adequate research, if these things can come into being, and making the announcement without being prepared.
The opposition spokesman says while he believes the system is necessary in curtailing disorderly conduct on the road, he says high fines and draconian measures will not to reduce fatalities.
Having the demerit point system again without effective enforcement will not see any results. And I think that, again, I will say that there has to be a robust public education campaign before the minister brings this demerit point system and all the kinks worked out, because it's going to be a travesty in bringing out this demerit point system without having that public education. With the Road Traffic Act and the announcement by many others that it will reduce road fatalities is something that we warned against, that the act itself will not cause road fatalities to reduce, but it's going to take a culture change by all road users to be able to do that.
Meanwhile, President of the Transport Operators Development and Sustainable Services, TODS, Edgerton Newman, says motorists welcome the delay but agrees public education is the best way forward.
We are overwhelmed that the government listened to us, listened to TODS, and of course we believe that in good faith they have pushed back the date, and of course the transport sector is in a mood now to really look at the whole issue discussed at our last National Steering Committee meeting of public education. One problem we have with operators, they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know what constitutes demerit point. And everybody's saying something different. And that is why we are happy for the pushback of the date.
However, Michael Phillips stressed that other aspects of the Road Traffic Act must be rectified prior to the rollout of the demerit system.
There is not adequate parking for the public transport sector. I think that the minister has dropped the ball in dealing with the issues of the public transport sector. They are the ones that are going to be mostly impacted by the demerit point system when the government itself has fallen below standard of what is required for an effective public transport sector also in the country.
Natasha Williams, CVM News.
Time now for a break, but please stay with us. More CVM News at 7.
Before the first patty is baked, they are hands that grow what we need. For Jamaica, by Jamaicans. Through every season and challenge, they built with us. They believed. To every farmer, thank you.
In business, you only get one chance to make a first impression. A poor hygiene experience can quickly escalate to a PR nightmare. Don't let this be your business. Upgrade with Initial Hygiene. Our smartly engineered hygiene solutions aren't just robust. They're designed to complement your space and brand while maintaining the strictest hygiene standards. And our contract service ensures that your consumables are always stocked, giving you one less thing to worry about. Initial Hygiene, your trusted partners in professional hygiene.
Watch Walking on the Word with Apostle Professor J. Andrew Scott every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m.
An apostle, cause 3 contracts to be released to you. So as of tonight, the realm of the supernatural is active and activated to cause 3 contracts. Pow! 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 In Jesus' name.
This KFC deal has you thinking chicken. Get the famous ball combo for just $730. The time by KFC is
7:30.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Now for a look at social media.
The land of water is experiencing serious water concerns. Many Jamaicans were relieved when the rain started a few days ago. However, even though the water level at the Hermitage Dam has risen by just over 3%, the National Water Commission, NWC, says the current water restrictions will remain in place. We took to social media to see what some of you have to say surrounding the water concerns. Avia Roshan said, Jamaica is not short of water. NWC just failed to make the necessary steps to provide water to Jamaica for all parishes. Ask them how many wells have they dig. When was the last time they built a dam? I am sure they heard from last year that we were going to be short on rainfall. So what preparation have they made to ensure we have water, which is life? In response, Alan Cry said, every parish can serve theirself with water. Clarendon has so much water, and we have none in pipe. Douglas Harper questioned, so hold on. There is no plan to clean the dam so it can actually hold more water when the rainy season starts? Now switching to sports. Lionel Messi has announced his retirement from international football, saying the time has come and that he has nothing left to give. He led Argentina to World Cup glory in Qatar in 2022. Now he leaves the national team as its all-time leading scorer and most capped player, with 125 goals in 207 appearances. Join us tomorrow, same time and same place, for more of what's trending and more social media conversation. This is your digital marketing coordinator, Danielle Brown.
Thank you, Daniel. Outgoing CEO of the NCB Financial Group Limited, Robert Almeida, will complete his term as Group CEO on September 30, 2026. Following a structured succession process, his appointment positions the group for its next phase, which will focus on sustainable growth following 3 years of significant transformation and restructuring. We hear from outgoing Group CEO Robert Almeida.
You will recall the focus was on EGC, turnaround efficiency, turnaround governance, and turnaround customer experience. That turnaround is largely complete. From a financial perspective, the combination of growth in shareholders' equity and dividends paid to shareholders exceeds 50% over the past 3 years, or about 15% per annum. And we estimate the organization has a current run rate of net profit attributable to shareholders of about $6 billion per quarter, or $24 billion per annum. The boards have been reconstituted, the governance framework has matured, and the leadership teams for the next chapter are in place. The institution is resilient, and the platform is ready to embark on its next chapter.
Now, to ensure continuity of leadership and execution during the transition, Dave Garcia, who has been named the new Group COO, will act as Group CEO from October 1, 2026. Until Mayor assumes office, Julian Mayer has been appointed the next Group Chief Executive Officer, effective November 17, 2026.
November 30th, my term as CEO will come to an end, and the board of directors has selected Julian Mayer to succeed me as CEO of NCB Financial Group. Dave Garcia took on the role of Chief Administrative Officer earlier this year and has just been appointed as Chief Operating Officer and will act as CEO until Julian joins in November. Ian Chinapu and Ian Truran continue as CEOs of Guardian Group and Clarion Group, respectively, and Cherie Martin has been confirmed in the role of CEO of NCB Jamaica. Together with the rest of the leadership team, I have every confidence that the organization will navigate the global uncertainties to reach new heights.
Time now for a break, but stay with
KFC famous bowl.
Chicken, 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 Magadeo, super chicken,
This KFC deal has you thinking chicken. Get the famous bowl combo for just $730.
School expenses adding up? Get ready for school with Chris and Charles. From July 9 to August 31, enjoy a low interest rate on loans of $1.5 and $2 million. Plus, get 25% off the processing fee on loans of $1 million Jamaican dollars and above. You could also qualify for one of 50 ready for school grants worth 60,000 Jamaican dollars each. Visit your nearest Chris and Charles branch or www.chrisandcharles.com for details. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles. Conditions apply.
I'm me, the stylist, no scam and style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. No charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early? But Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Welcome back. Time now for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Trinidad and Tobago is celebrating 64 years of independence, with President Christine Kangaloo calling on citizens to reflect on the country's achievements, while acknowledging the challenges still facing the nation. We hear more from TTT News.
The remarks came during the independence toast to the nation, attended by members of government including Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. The independence toast to the nation brought together members of government and other invited guests as the country marked its 64th anniversary of independence.
In international news, the death toll from catastrophic flooding in Nepal and China has surpassed 1,000, and more than 4,400 people remain missing as rescue crews work to reach communities cut off by the disaster. Al Jazeera reports.
Rescue teams are searching for hundreds of missing people at China's Jirong port. They trudge through thick mud and debris, all that remains of this border crossing after part of a glacier broke off last week in the Himalayas, obliterating everything in its path. Almost all the images of the Chinese side of this disaster have come from official channels.
Russian air attacks killed at least 12 people and injured more than 30 others in Kiev and surrounding regions on Tuesday. France 24 has more.
Monday's attack beginning at around 6 p.m. local time and continued throughout the night. Ukrainian authorities say energy infrastructure was targeted as well as port export facilities and a border crossing point with Romania. The latest attacks coming as children in Ukraine return to school this Tuesday.
And that's it for regional and international news. I'm Crystal Williams.
Thank you, Crystal. It's time now for a break. Up next, we have sports.